The unfortunate thing about choosing to review 29 movies based on video games is that you wind up having to watch stupid shit like Pokémon. The fact is, there's a hell of a lot of these movies, and I've managed to avoid them up until now. I can say thankfully that I managed to schedule this feature to only have to watch 2 of these, and after watching this mess of a movie, I'm glad I'm stopping after only 1 sequel. The Pokémon games are pretty simplistic. They're simple RPGs where you play as a Pokémon trainer who goes around catching these critters and making them fight, for no other reason than personal glory. The thin plot and sameness of each sequel doesn't matter to the fans because it's all about catching them all and trading them with other people, since usually when you buy a Pokémon game, there's another version of it that has Pokémon that are not available on yours. The TV show that the movie is based on is the most inane thing ever, but, well, it exists pretty much to sell the games and merchandise, so what do you expect? The main characters from the show, who are also the main characters in the movie, are Ash, Brock, and Misty, although they are so devoid of any real personality or character development that I mentally refer to them as the dumb idiot, the horny idiot, and the stupid bitch. The movie takes place in a world where unsupervised children go out into the wild to capture wild and usually dangerous animals and enslave them and force them to fight for no other reason than bragging rights. The antagonists from the show are usually Team Rocket, made up out of 2 morons and a Pokemon named Meowth who can talk. They're insidiously annoying, and the one good thing I can say about the movie is that their role is relatively small here. The main villain of the movie is Mewtwo, a Pokemon created in a lab from the DNA of the most powerful Pokemon, Mew. Even though he's a clone, he looks different than Mew and has psychic powers and is highly intelligent. As soon as he's cloned, and by the way, the writers have no idea how cloning works, he's all pissed off because these people created him basically just to be a lab rat, and the audience's intelligence is insulted by the fact that these idiot scientists went out of their way to create something that can destroy them, but with no means of controlling it. I guess they just expected Mewtwo to do whatever they want. So he destroys the base, and then another human character, who is never named nor even seen in good light, approaches him and offers him a partnership. He makes Mewtwo a suit of armor to focus his powers, but then reveals that he sees Mewtwo as little more than a lackey, so Mewtwo destroys this compound as well and ditches the armor. Once again, they expected this immensely powerful thing to bend to their will, even after seeing what happened to the last people that tried this without any means of controlling him. Mewtwo is after the meaning of life, and like every other character in this fuck heap of a movie, decides that the meaning of life is being a Pokemon trainer, so he does that. Somehow this will help him take over the world, even though he shows himself to be powerful enough to create a storm that can destroy the world anyway. Mewtwo keeps contradicting himself. He seems to want to destroy humans and Pokemon alike, the humans because he hates them, and the Pokemon for allowing themselves to be enslaved. But instead of just doing this, he lures a bunch of Pokemon trainers to his lair, including the main characters and Team Rocket, with the promise that a Pokemon tournament would take place, so he could capture and clone their Pokemon. So wait, is creating more? The details of the plot don't matter much. The characters get to his island, and then he attacks all of their Pokemon and clones them, and then all the clones and the originals get into a battle. Mew shows up and basically just bounces around, and Mewtwo insists on fighting to see who's stronger because that's the only motivation anyone in this movie has. But then as everyone's fighting, all the characters suddenly all learn a moral lesson that fighting is wrong and that they should all just live in peace. So of course they continue to fight. I had to laugh at this because capturing the Pokemon and making them fight is the entire point of the show and the games. So the movie coming out and saying that it's wrong and having the characters realize that seems counterproductive. But then, after that, Mewtwo decides he's done being a villain, so he decides to erase everybody's memory of all the events taking place, therefore putting them right back at square one without having learned anything. I had a feeling this would be bad, but I had no idea how monstrously ass it would be. It really has no redeeming qualities at all. The animation ranges from being passable to laughable, but even when it's passable, the characters are drawn so horribly that it doesn't matter, usually without any shading and the most minimal detail possible. The voice acting is beyond fuckular. It's high school play level. The worst are the Team Rocket characters, who make me want to shove razors into my ears while listening to Rebecca Black, because that would be preferable to hearing them talk. The movie is basically just something to get kids to drag their parents to and buy more merchandise. It's the worst sort of corporate movie that was conceived in a boardroom and has zero artistic merit. 1 out of 10. It's that fucking bad.